Armand and Gulrays were not just brothers, they were best friends, secret keepers, and adventure seekers. Armand, the elder by a year, was thoughtful, calm, and always had a book or scroll in hand. Gulrays was energetic, bold, and full of laughter. They lived with their parents on the edge of Wisdom Hill, a small, peaceful town where everyone knew each other and children played freely. But one thing stood out about the hill. It was close to the ancient forest. And in the middle of that forest, hidden behind a veil of vines and trees, lay the old path of the wise. No one had walked it in years, or so people thought. One sunny afternoon, while searching for smooth stones by the river, Doris noticed a small scroll sticking out of a hollow tree. "Hey, Armand!" he shouted. "Come here!" Armand jogged over, curious. "What is it?" Gulrays handed him. "The scroll looks old." Armand opened it carefully. The handwriting was neat but faded.
To the brave and wise, the path of the wise awaits. But beware, those who are dull in thought or slow in spirit will not pass. Only the sharp shall see the end.
Armand's eyes widened. "Gulrays, this is about the path. Let's go find it." Gulrays beamed, already grabbing his backpack. Armand hesitated. "Wait, we don't know where it leads. We should prepare," asked Grandpa. "Sharpen our tools." Gulrays rolled his eyes. "You and your plans. Let's be brave." "Wait." But the scroll said sharp. Armand reminded him, pointing to the line. "Not just brave," Gulrays laughed. "Fine, fine. One night of preparation, then tomorrow we go." That evening, they went to their grandfather, a wise old man who used to be a village carpenter and storyteller. Armand showed him the scroll. Grandpa read it slowly, then smiled. "Ah, the path of the wise. I walked it once as a boy." Did they both gasp? Double quotes. "Yes, but I only made it halfway. I rushed in, didn't sharpen my axe, nor my heart. The path is full of tests, not of strength, but of wisdom." He stood and picked up an old axe. Its blade was dull and chipped. "Your axe is dull. You'll work harder and go nowhere. But if you sharpen it first, even a child can cut a tree." "That's from the Bible," Armand said, quoting. Ecclesiastes 10:10. "Exactly," Grandpa beamed. "But remember, it's not just about tools. Your minds must be sharp. Your prayers must be steady. Your hearts must be clean." The next morning, after sharpening their hiking sticks, packing water, snacks, a Bible scroll, and a compass, Armand and Gulrays stood at the forest's edge. "Let's stay together," Armand said. "Deal," Gulrays replied. They followed the map drawn on the back of the scroll, carefully making their way over logs, streams, and vines. Eventually, they reached a giant stone gate covered in moss. Words were carved into it.
"Enter not with haste, but with heart and wisdom laced. If you are dull, turn away. If you are sharp, you may stay."
Gulrays touched the stone. "This is real." They pushed open the heavy doors and entered the path. As they stepped in, they found a glowing sign. Test 1. The puzzle of words in front of them lay 7 stones, each with a word: wisdom, strength, fear, anger, love, truth, pride. They heard a whisper in the wind.
"Choose the 3 that open the gate."
Armand frowned. "It's a riddle. Think the path wants the sharp, not just the strong? What are sharp hearts full of?" Gulrays guessed: strength, fear, pride. The stones lit up, then sizzled and turned black. A voice said, "Dull choice." Armand closed his eyes and whispered, "God, help us think clearly." Then he said, "Try wisdom, love, truth." The gate glowed and opened. "You were right," Gulrays smiled. "Sharp mind." As Armand and Gulrays stepped through the glowing gate, they entered a strange, foggy clearing. The trees were twisted, and the path ahead split into 3 winding trails. Suddenly, voices echoed through the mist, each one calling their names.
"Armand, this way. Gulrays, come quickly. This path is shorter. You'll never finish if you follow your brother."
Not every voice deserves your ear. Only the wise will hear the truth. Golrace hesitated. These voices, they sound like us. I don't trust them, Armand said. Jesus said, My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. Golrace frowned. So how do we know which voice is his? Armand took out the Bible scroll and read softly, Let the wise listen and add to their learning. Proverbs 1-5. He closed his eyes. I'll wait. I'll listen quietly. After a moment, a calm, still voice whispered, The path of the wise is narrow, but sure. I heard it, Armand said. This way. Golrace followed, and soon the mist cleared. The false voices stopped. You were right again, Golrace said. You didn't rush. You stayed sharp. The path led down into a wide valley, where the sky suddenly turned dark. Thunder rolled and wind howled. Rain poured down. The sign here read, Test 3. The storm of doubt. Will you give up when storms rise, or trust in the one who calms? When Golrace looked around nervously. This is bad. Maybe we should turn back. Armand grabbed his hand. No. Remember the story of Jesus calming the storm? Golrace nodded. Ram lifted his hand and shouted, In Jesus' name, we are not afraid. They pushed forward. The storm raged harder, but Armand began singing a psalm out loud. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him. Psalm 28-7. Golrace joined him. With every verse, the rain slowed, the thunder softened. Light broke through. The storm cleared. You stayed sharp in your faith, Golrace said, wiping rain from his hair. You trusted when I wanted to quit. Faith keeps our hearts sharp, Armand said. After hours of walking, the boys reached the last gate. It was tall and golden, with glowing vines climbing up the sides. This time, there was no riddle. It's just a simple message. You have chosen wisdom over speed, truth over pride, and faith over fear. The wise do not need to be the fastest or strongest. They simply walk with God. Suddenly, the gate creaked open, revealing a bright garden filled with books, tools, and strange shimmering stones. A man stood there, dressed in white. Who are you? Armand asked. I am a messenger of the Lord. The man smiled. This place is for those who seek his wisdom. The boys looked around in awe. Golrace asked, What happens now? You may return home, the man said. But you are not the same boys who entered. You have sharpened your hearts, your minds, and your spirits. He handed them each a glowing stone. These will remind you, stay sharp, stay faithful. When they returned to Wisdom Hill, the sun was rising. Grandpa was waiting at the edge of the forest. You made it, he said. Hugging them tightly, Armand showed him the glowing stone. We passed all the tests. Golrace grinned. Armand stayed calm. He prayed, listened, thought deeply. I learned that being brave doesn't mean rushing it. It means trusting God and staying sharp. Grandpa nodded. That's the heart of Ecclesiastes 10:10. Sharpen your axe. Use wisdom. Trust the Lord. That week, Armand and Golrace were invited to share their story with the other children in town. They spoke about puzzles and storms, voices and wisdom, faith and courage. And at the end, Armand stood and read the verse aloud. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. Ecclesiastes 10:10, then he added, Being sharp doesn't mean being the fastest or the strongest. It means stopping to pray, to think, and to trust in God. Golrace raised his hand and grinned. And sometimes, it means listening to your big brother too. Everyone laughed. But deep down, the boys knew they would never forget the path of the wise. And every time they faced a challenge, they would remember. Stay calm, stay prayerful, stay sharp.